Well, it is time for the very last Micah and the Hatman of the decade. And we are going to be talking about the biggest and best games of the last decade, plus movies. But before anything else, we're going to review The Mandalorian. Because this is the way.
This is the way.
So let's get started. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin. And yes, I do like Baby Yoda.
We all do. Welcome to Micah and the Hatman Live. By the way, that Captain America theme for Marvel superheroes is godlike. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started real quick. So, The Mandalorian. Last episode just came out last night. And this might be speaking of best of the decade, this might be one of my favorite series of the decade. It was so good, front to back.
Yeah.
This, I put on Twitter last night, I said, to wrap up Disney Star Wars, the movie trilogy sucks, but The Mandalorian is excellent. All hail the Baby Yoda. This is the way.
I mean, it seems like under Disney's leadership, Star Wars TV has done way better than the actual fucking movies.
Yeah.
Rebels was really, really good. The Mandalorian is really, really good. Resistance, maybe not so much. Yeah. And then we're getting another season of the Clone Wars. But keep in mind, Dave Filoni has his hand in all that stuff, so maybe this is the way. He is the way.
Yeah. I'm genuinely thinking so. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's great.
Let's go ahead and give the unbiased review of this series so far. 9 out of 10. There's a couple episodes that are kind of filler episodes that are basically just there to introduce a couple of characters, and that's about it. They're the kind of episodes that you would expect from a 22 episode season. But this is only an 8 episode season.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how I would put it. It is it's 6 out of 8 episodes are fan-fucking-tastic. You know, a couple of them could have been better than what they were, but they're still fun, if nothing else. And there's good little character bits.
Oh yeah.
The Baby Yoda. Yeah, the Baby Yoda is the big thing. This is basically a very... It hinders back to Star Wars in the sense that Star Wars originally was very inspired by old Kurosawa films.
Mm-hmm.
And George Lucas gave general pieces of advice to Jon Favreau before starting this series. And Jon listened. And it's obvious he listened.
Yeah.
But then again, like we've always said, Lucas is a great guy when it comes to direction and or not directing, but creative direction, and he's also really good whenever it comes to concept. And he basically said, stick with the hero's journey because that's what's going to get people into this. He's like this. He said these shows, anybody can watch them and anybody can find stuff to like, but your main audience is going to be boys that are coming of age, are going to look at this character and they're going to want to know more about him. And they basically, he's a samurai in a sense. He's a Ronin, which is what the Mandalorians have always been like. They are a warrior culture. And they have a sense of honor to them. And they have a sense of,
There's a creed that they follow.
Yeah, there's a creed they follow,
Yeah, the way is Bushido, basically.
Yeah, it is Bushido. Yeah, in a sense, it's Bushido. And one thing I love about this Mando specifically, I forget his name already, Because you hear
Din Djarin.
Yeah, Din Djarin. You don't hear his name until the last episode, and you don't see his face until the last episode.
Even though you know who it is.
It is Pedro Pascal behind the mask. Like it's you know. So as it stands, this Mando, he is he's not as badass as some other Mandalorians we've seen. He's certainly he is like, let's just say this right now. He's nowhere near Canderous Ordo.
No.
But then again, that's Mandalore the Preserver. Like that's probably the most badass Mandalore outside of Mandalore the Ultimate. Who
he gets beaten. He gets injured.
They reference a Mandalore the Great in this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's meant to be a retcon of Mandalore the Ultimate or if that's the Mandalore during the Great Hyperspace War. But it's a reference to the Old Republic most likely. Because there was no Mandalore during the Clone Wars. And even when Pre Vizsla assumed the role, he didn't take on a title because he wasn't Mandalore for very often. The same thing with Darth Maul. So but either way...
Oh god, are we gonna talk spoilers in this?
Let's finish with the objective review.
Yes.
Needless to say, this is a must-watch. This is worth having Disney Plus for. You know, if for no other reason than just to watch it. Like, he's a vulnerable hero, and that's what makes him so cool. You know, there's tension in every single fight he's in. Like, with Jango... If they ever did a Jango Fett series, there'd be no tension. If they ever did a Boba Fett series, there'd be no tension. With this guy, there is. He's not that big when it comes right down to it. He's actually kind of a small Mandalorian among his clan. He's not the most skilled Mandalorian either. You know, he loses to Jawas. You know, like he gets beat up by a similar beast that Jango Fett killed in one shot. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
So
I mean, and you see him grow too. You see him change. I mean, like he upgrades his armor along the way, even.
Yeah.
So there is character growth.
Even. And that's what really makes him so interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's wonderful.
One thing to answer from the chat before we go into spoiler territory, because there are spoilers. Jango and Boba are Mandalorians. Jango. There's an old clan of Mando called the Fetts. Going all the way back to the Great Mandalorian War, which Cassius Fett was one of the major names of that war. I think Revan killed him. Because I think Mandalore killed Cassius and killed Mandalore the Ultimate. It was Cassius Fett who gave the order to slaughter the Cathar. Just for those wondering. So... But yes, if you have the last name of Fett, that's a Mandalorian clan. So, which it's like the Vizslas. Vizsla is a clan, you know, because you have Pre Vizsla, and then he is descended from Shae Vizsla from the Old Republic. So, it's kind of moving more toward they're gonna like full on canonize KOTOR stuff. I have no doubt. Dave Filoni, from what I've heard, loves that series. So, Anyway, let's go ahead and get into spoiler territory. You need to watch this show. So, the fucking Darksaber.
Yep. Turns out the big bad Imperial from the last couple episodes has the fucking Darksaber. So, not looking good for Bo-Katan.
No.
Oops. And that opens the door for... basically, all the Mandalorians that we saw in Rebels and Clone Wars, at least the ones that survived, to come back. So maybe Sabine Wren?
He got rescued by Death Watch as a boy.
Yep.
So that was crazy seeing like actual Death Watch costumes.
Mm-hmm.
But The Darksaber, who was the Mandalorian chick from Rebels? Because that would mean she's
That was
dead or
Sabine Wren.
Yeah, so Sabine is either dead or lost it at some point.
No, she's not. She handed it off to Bo-Katan.
Oh, she did.
The end of Rebels.
I forgot about that.
So it's Bo-Katan that is probably dead at this point.
Yeah. So, and the one thing that I would just say about who the final boss is, the Moff, Blue Meth, anyone?
He plays Giancarlo Esposito plays such great bad guys, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he returns. Gus Fring is the bad guy in the last episode of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
And he's great at it. He's fantastic.
Yep. Gina Carano is excellent, and you already know Carl Weathers is excellent.
Oh yeah. The cast in this is fantastic. The final episode has some genuinely emotional moments in it. By the way, last episode directed by Taika Waititi.
Mm-hmm.
Like this really showed his depth as a director.
Like, oh yeah, absolutely.
He's actually legit a good director. Like, holy fuck. I was genuinely shocked at how good he was.
He can do good shit.
Yeah, he can do drama apparently. So Mercenary donates $1, says the stuff that is the only thing that may save Star Wars. Force Awakens, small during trash fire, Jedi garbage, truck full of us, and fire going downhill. I'm going to check your spelling or your grammar there, buddy. Said Skywalker was the landfill on fire with a thermite napalm strike from the air in the heart of us exploding Volga. Right. Anyway, the interesting thing about this is that now he has a clan of his own in a sense, and the clan or this group of Mandalorians that he was part of that adopted him, have basically tasked him with returning the baby Yoda to his people.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
And the baby Yoda is a part of his clan too.
Yes, and also he has to look up, or it's basically going to also put in there that he has to seek out the Jedi, because they're the only people who are going to know who Yoda's people are. So I don't like where this could take us. I don't know. I really don't. Like, it's really, really crazy. What I want to see is obviously there's going to be Imperial conflict here. I want to see him interact with major Star Wars players, man. Find an excuse to get Mark Hamill. You know? That would be crazy.
That'd be awesome.
You could also do Boba Fett. You know, you could do... I don't know if Harrison Ford would ever sign up to do Star Wars ever again, but dear God, the Mandalorian interacting with Han Solo would be fucking amazing. Needless to say, though, like, we need to go ahead and wrap this up and get on to the next topic. What this means for the Star Wars universe is crazy, because it means that we might finally get, and we'll see the origins and what Yoda's people are, what they're called, and more information on them. Because you see them so rarely, and the idea of him going out and meeting Jedi would be interesting to see, like Ahsoka Tano would be interesting.
Yeah, because remember, he's got to basically be explained what the Force is, because apparently that's not something that people are really aware of.
Yeah.
In either this part of the galaxy or at this point in time. I mean, despite the fact that, the Jedi Purge was, about 30 so years ago at that point in time. So, interesting.
Very.
Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker. Maybe. Have you seen those images of Sebastian Stan compared to a young Mark Hamill?
No.
Resemblance is uncanny.
Yeah, you're right. He is. All right, let's go ahead and move on, though.
Yes. But yes, this gets a definite recommendation from us. If you have to, go for the 7-day trial of Disney Plus and binge watch it. It's great.
Oh, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the fun stuff. Games of the decade. Now, this has been one of the craziest decades, I think, that video games... Well, granted, gaming hasn't been that big for that long, but that I would have never expected. Because we saw it become the dominant force money-wise in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is the biggest industry of all of entertainment. Real quick, Hatman, just rattle off 3 of your favorite games of the last 10 years.
God, just 3? That's
just 3 real quick.
That's crazy. Doom was incredible. You guys know how much I love that. The Last of Us, I love that game so much, and I'll throw Metroid: Samus Returns in there too, because holy shit, y'all did it. They actually did a good Metroid game after Other M.
Yeah, I would, like, my 3 that I would have to pick, it's hard, because, like, there's been so many fucking good video games. I would probably have to say Arkham City would be Arkham City and Data Boy, are like the top 2 for me. And then after that, it's kind of hard. Because there's so much. Like, Doom is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would actually have to say, though, the remake of Resident Evil 2. I don't think I've ever had, like, as intense of a horror experience since Silent Hill 2 when I played that. Like, that was incredible. But the interesting thing about that, it has been an interesting 10 years because it's been, in a sense, video games as an industry finding out what they are and what works and what doesn't work. Because you think about the business. Like, stuff that there are things that, like, there are companies that we thought were going to be forever that look like they're on the cusp of destroying themselves. And then we have companies that we thought were done that ended up resurrecting themselves. You know, you look at, like, over this last 10 years, just Capcom.
Yeah.
What, like, let me think back to what they put out. Like, 2010, they put out Resident Evil 5 in 2009, and then in 2010, I want to say was, it was 09 or 2010, they put out Lost Planet 2, which was not a big success. Then from there, we saw
Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was an earner for them, but then from there they fell off. Like, Resident Evil 6 was a flop. Was like the nadir of Resident Evil games. And everybody thought they were kind of done because Street Fighter V was very underwhelming. And then they come out...
Not to mention all of the Street Fighter 4 editions. I mean,
yeah.
Good God, were they trying to overtake Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, they no kidding. And then Capcom comes out of fucking nowhere. And they bring out Resident Evil 7, Monster Hunter World, RE2 Remake, Devil May Cry 5, you know, all of which were huge, you know, and amazing games. Then you look at, like, other houses have become, like, gigantic. Like, it just, in the entertainment industry in general, like ZeniMax. You look at them and they are you know, a dominant force, but it looks like they're starting to falter because of Quake Champions didn't do anything, and Fallout 76 has ruined a lot of goodwill with people. I think that, and then of course everybody thought that EA was always going to be this giant monolith that would never change anything, and would only be these money-grubbing assholes forever. And lo and behold, their stock prices plummet because of the loot box controversy. And then they release Fallen Order, which is a single-player game, when they basically said 2 years ago that they weren't going to do that. Plus, they had to completely change Battlefront 2. Like, it's this is the one thing that I find so interesting about the industry over the last 10 years is that all of you can't predict it. There's no predictability to video games, if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, CD Projekt Red basically just came out of nowhere and is now like one of the top earning development studios in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I think what country are they based out of? Are they Polish?
Polish. I
think they are now like the most valuable company in Poland. Good God.
Yeah. And there's when you look at that, like, you wouldn't expect it, but it's all because The Witcher 2 and 3 were as big as they were.
Absolutely. I mean, other companies like Valve, for example, Valve basically stopped making games and started focusing more on Steam.
Yeah, think of it this way. Aside from Dota 2, the only game that they put out during this last 10 years was Portal 2. That's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. BioWare. We saw BioWare reach new heights with Mass Effect and then just plummet.
Yeah. They 2011 was their last good year. If you think about it. Like, and that's the interesting thing. Is like it feels like 2011 was kind of the big turning point for video games in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was a landmark year.
Yeah, it was an amazing year. When you go back and you look at the games from that year, you know, I still remember doing my top 10 list of that for when I worked for Blistered Thumbs, and I look back at it and I'm like, holy fucking shit, that year was incredible. It really felt like every single month I had a brand new game with a ton of content in it that was really enjoyable, you know? And the only thing that I think has been the biggest story about it has been beware the fad. Because fads tend to bring you to ruin if you follow them too much. I think that was definitely a big part of it, is that if you try to follow this fad of like this one thing that's really popular, then there's no guarantee that you're actually going to make money off of it. I think that maybe if there is any one theme, it's that quality is king.
Right. I mean, you saw MOBAs, you know, come and go, and Battle Royale, it seems to be the new fad, but like you said, you know, it amounts to quality. What was the one that it's getting its server shut down in a couple of months from Gearbox?
I don't even remember. Battleborn.
Yes, Battleborn. Went fucking nowhere. Black Ops 4. You know, they tried to do a Battle Royale thing there, and they went against having the single-player campaign in general, and that didn't do very well. And we see now, you know, it's basically Fortnite and PUBG, kind of, sort of, but Fortnite seems to be the one that everyone's centralizing around. And Fortnite, you know, that's a totally different game from what, you know, we expect from Epic, and yet now that's their fucking cash cow.
Let's address
more so than Unreal.
Gajira asked, would this be accurate? Games peaked 2010 to 2013, has dropped off since then. No, I don't agree with that. I think that was the height, and there was kind of a downturn, and then it came back up. Because these last 3 years 16, 17, well, yeah, these last few years have been fantastic. You know, you got Dad of Boy. Again, that was last year. That game was fucking incredible. You know, Metal Gear Solid 5 was a fantastic game, even though the ending had some problems. You know,
Red Dead Redemption 2, anybody? Nier Automata?
Yeah. Resident Evil 2 remake. Yeah, I mentioned this one. That was Devil May Cry 5.
Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7. Like there's so many. There's a lot of games out there that actually have come out of these last few years that are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's just sort of the thing is it goes down and up. You know, and I think that oddly enough, those down years were the ones where there was a lot of focus on multiplayer. And a lot of focus on what the trends were, not necessarily trying to create the best experience and the best story for your user base. And then when people start getting focused back on that, around the time Witcher 3 came out, it really started coming back up. You know, and you have to think, like, the stuff we're getting this year is going to be amazing. I mean, we're getting Resident Evil 3 remake and Doom Eternal, and Cyberpunk 2077. We're getting Cyberpunk 2077 and the Resident Evil 3 remake in the same fucking month. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we're doing really well, and the market is getting bigger. So no, I don't agree. I think that the average of good games is actually improving again. I think that really, when it comes right down to it, again, there has to be a focus on quality from the developer, or it just is never going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's an interesting one. What would you say is the most overrated game of the last decade? Like, the one game that everybody says is fucking phenomenal and really is not as good as they give it. And don't say Gone Home.
You said game.
Fair point.
I can't say Gone Home. That's a tough one. I can't say Skyrim either because I have a big bias against it seems like Bethesda games in general. God, what could I say? Some people in the chat saying Overwatch, Minecraft. Overwatch maybe. That's the thing. I almost want to say, controversially, I almost want to say Metal Gear Solid 5, but that also might just be because I'm really not that into open world games. Actually, there is one that I'll say is overrated. Destiny.
Yeah, I think we're both going to agree on that. Destiny, as a series, is way overrated. Overrated. Way overrated. Yeah. The lore is fucking stupid.
The lore makes no damn sense. And on top of that, like, all of the YouTuber theories about where the story was going to go and where it could have gone before meddling happened make it so much more interesting. But that's not what we ended up getting.
I'm going to tell you exactly where it's all going to go. A white line on a mirror just... Oh! Welcome to Bungie! We make games, I think!
Can you count Metal Gear Solid 5? It wasn't even finished. And that's the thing. Like, it seems like meddling ends up fucking over games. Like, yes. Yeah, Destiny, because Activision meddled in it. And that is... I said... Way back when Bungie announced their partnership with Activision, I was like, well, they're fucked for the next 10 years, aren't they? And it was so bad for them, they cut out of their contract.
Yep.
They cut out of their fucking contract midway through. So, yeah, No, Destiny 1, because I didn't play Destiny 2. I didn't want to play Destiny 2.
I deleted Destiny 2 after 5 minutes.
I could not. That's the thing. Destiny 1, I tried. I really tried. I love most of Bungie's fucking catalog, so I really, really wanted to like this. And I couldn't. And every single one of my friends apparently was saying like, oh, it's so fucking good, it's so fucking good, you gotta play with other people. I'm like, this is a Borderlands problem. If you can't play the game by itself on your own, it's not going to be a good fucking game. And I get it, like the fire team mechanic is what you really need to do. That's a main point of the fucking game. But why does it need to be? Why couldn't you have fucking like AIs to assist you? I honestly would take that.
Let's real quick. We got a donation from Ryuji Yamazaki. Says he wants to say Hotline Miami. Good pick. Tekken 7. I would actually give Tekken 7 the second best fighting game of the decade. KOF 14. I would give third. Well, 13 and 14. Sonic Mania. In fact, best fighting game of the decade, I would probably actually have to give to Skullgirls. Because, and here's the big thing that I found about fighting games over the because like Smash and you got a bunch of big ones. A lot of them coming from Japanese developers had really shitty netcode, and that was their downfall. There's a lot of them that had really cool mechanics and ideas and stuff like Tekken 7, Guilty Gear Xr'd, stuff like that. But Jesus fucking Christ, the netcode is just trash.
So what about underrated games?
Games that don't get enough credit? I always feel like people brush Gears 3, 4, and 5 under the Dude Bro label and never really give them the credit they deserve as pieces of art. I think they're fantastic.
Kind of controversial, I would say, because it did get a lot of credit, but I think it deserves more. Alien Isolation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alien Isolation, I think, is probably the best survival horror game of the decade. And if you played it on Xbox One and with a Kinect, I don't know if they did it for any of the other consoles, but picking up your voice, holy shit. Like, that just made it a terrifying experience. It's really, really well done, and especially coming off the heels of fucking Colonial Marines. Holy shit, what a great tribute to the Alien franchise.
Hey, remember when Jim Sterling and Ben Kuchera tried to sabotage the opening of that game's debut? Pepperidge Farm.
Hey, remember when Jim Sterling and fucking Ben Kuchera were good? No. Neither do I.
All right, let's move on. So, last topic of the day, films of the decade. Needless to say, when you look at the last 10 years, comic books decided to suck, and just focus all the good energy into films. That's basically the story of it. And Darth Vader showed up too. Because the last 10 years, the biggest films that came out were comic book movies and Star Wars. And one thing I will say, all of the Star Wars movies weren't as good as Rogue One, mostly because Darth Vader.
It's funny because I didn't like Rogue One that much, except for the last act, and especially Darth Vader.
The last act is fantastic.
I mean, I was
just movie a lot.
I was watching it the other day, and it's so fucking slow. And I get it, like, slow burn can be used well, but it didn't feel like it was used very well. I was so disappointed. But then you get to the space battle. Like, once they get to Yavin, like, that's where it really, really starts to pick up for me. And then, of course, the Darth Vader scene. They saved the best scene for last, and that's probably one of, if not the best Darth Vader scene in all of Star Wars.
It was horrifying.
Like that. Yeah, it made him a slasher villain. I mean, people were scared of Vader in 1977. People were scared of fucking Vader in 2016. Deservedly. Fuck yes.
That's how Sith Lords should be treated, in my opinion.
Exactly.
They should be a frightening dark force. I kind of feel like unlimited power. Turn them into memes. And then Darth Vader comes in and shows that you can be kind of a ridiculous looking character and still be fucking scary. But, because here's the thing. You look at the image in front of you, you see Darth Vader on the far right. And he inspired certain ways that the other two characters next to him, Thanos and Bane, were treated. He's very they pull a lot from him in some ways. But anyway, comic books dominated, and it's not even close. Yeah. Like the two biggest earners, we saw I think the rebirth of the villain in a lot of ways, because everybody was fascinated by Thanos and Joker, and back in 2012, everybody was fascinated with Bane too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how can you not love Bane? And let me just say this for the Bane detractors. I interviewed Chuck Dixon, the creator of Bane, and he really likes Tom Hardy's way of doing it. But you look at...
If only they had kept Bane's original voice. That is my only real gripe with Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. That the complaints that, we can't hear his voice, so they turn it into a very, very obvious voiceover. I think they shot the bed with it.
That is true. But so many good villains that got brought to life by very good actors. Not just the ones that you guys see in front of you. I mean, obviously, Joaquin Phoenix is... I think he's as good as Heath Ledger when it comes to the Joker. And that's saying something, because Heath Ledger is an amazing Joker. Was, I should say. Josh Brolin as Thanos, incredible. He, that Thanos was this Thanos right behind me. He nailed the complexities of the Jim Starlin Thanos. Not easy to do. But I think that this is what kind of made people realize how these sorts of characters are immortalized in America, in a sense, and how fascinated we are with complexity in our characters, because all of these characters are complex individuals. You think of Bane and his motivations are such a he's a terrorist. Yet he's evil as fuck, but you can't take your eyes off of him. The journey of the Joker becoming the Joker, Thanos' crusade, literal crusade, to get the Infinity Gems. It's
his hero's journey. It's a hero's journey.
Yeah, exactly. It's so interesting when you think about it, and man, and that's just so crazy to me. Is just the fact that it really took this long for people to realize that comic books contain some of the best stories in American literature in a long time. And that I think is almost criminal, in a sense, that it took this long for them to be appreciated. We had to put them on film to really appreciate them.
Even beyond, the big blockbusters, this decade had some great movies. Source Code was 2011. That movie, the ending changed everything about it. It's one of those endings where you have to go back and watch the movie again, almost like The Prestige. Creed. I came out of Creed just singing praises about that movie, and this was like an early screening, like a preview screening, and I couldn't stop talking about it. I was like, oh my god, this movie is fucking incredible. And then Creed 2 ended up probably being better than the first one. I mean, that they reinvigorated the Rocky franchise in a way that I didn't think was possible. And of course, Creed put Ryan Coogler on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Paving the way for Black Panther. The Lego Movie. Holy shit! I thought the Lego Movie was just going to be kiddie nonsense with fart jokes and whatnot, but I was sincerely impressed. That honestly was one of my favorite movies of all time. Love that shit. And then let's not forget some of the other comic book movies that were way more serious, like Logan, for example. Wow. Way to end the Fox X-Men franchise.
Nah.
I don't give a shit if New Mutants ever comes out. Logan is the ending for it for me.
Yeah, Logan was amazing. Real quick, donation came in.
Yep. Donation, hooray.
Asami Ryuji Yamazaki says, as far as overrated movies go, I'm going to go with the It remake. I found Pennywise to be super goofy because he made retarded faces. Ended up just pissing me off. Adam Schiff is scarier than that. I think people overpraise that movie. Yeah, we'll get to that. Keep going, though, Hatman.
I was going to say, I know that you're kind of put off by the politics behind it, but Into the Spider-Verse also.
Yeah, it was okay.
Into the Spider-Verse was very, very impressive. Especially considering, like, it started off with basic unknowns, Miles Morales. And I guess Spider-Gwen would be technically an unknown. I think your average moviegoer doesn't really know Gwen Stacy. So, but yeah, fuck you. We talked about Joker. We've talked about Joker so much. God, what else came out this decade that was really good? Inglourious Bastards. Wait, was Inglourious Bastards 09 or 2010?
No, that was 09.
Nope, never mind.
Yeah,
That's not this
Hateful
decade.
Eight was the one he did before.
Yeah. Oh no, Django Unchained. That
Django
was what
Unchained
came
was
after
good,
Inglourious
too.
Bastards. Yeah, great.
I never saw Hateful Eight.
I have not seen it either. Oh God, yes, Godzilla King of the Monsters. Yes.
Yeah, Godzilla King of the Monsters was another really good one.
Oh,
Real quick,
so
though,
good.
most overrated film of the last 10 years. And you can't say Captain Marvel. And then we'll go most underrated.
Ah, damn it, that was 2009. I was going to say Avatar, but that's 2009. Fuck. Overrated? Let me see when this one came out. No, the first... Okay, yes. Frozen. Easily.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, too.
Easily Frozen. Good movie? Not that great.
Yeah. Underrated? Venom.
Yes, I will definitely get in with you on Venom. I said Source Code already for one of my favorites. I think that's another really unrated one. But Venom, I think, really got the short damn end of the stick.
Venom was a sleeper. Nobody expected it to be as good as it was. And if you go back and watch it, it's better than you remember. It is legitimately a great film.
I saw it twice in theaters, and it was better the second time.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I love Venom so much.
The Last Jedi. That's right. Yeah, The Last Jedi was definitely over. The Last Jedi was so goddamn polarizing. I don't even know if you can call it
So
over or
bad.
underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... God, yeah, it sucks.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the
Oh,
Q&A.
yeah, I hear Bumblebee was actually really good, but I never saw it.
So did I, yeah. I never got around to it. So, let's have a look-see.
Did any of the donations, by the way, have a cringe behind
We're not
them?
even at the goal yet. I ain't watching shit if we don't hit $25. So
bid. Make Michael watch the toothbrush scene.
Holy Ninja Tail wants to know when's the Venom and Senwa videos? When I get them done. Punished Alistair wants to know when are your favorite, or what are your favorite video gaming hopes for the 2020s? That they could turn Resident Evil Code Veronica into an actually halfway decent video game. Other than that, I want to see resurrection of the Rogue Leader games, or the Rogue Squadron games, I should say. And I got nothing beyond that.
Biggest hopes for gaming. I hope that consoles don't go the way of the dodo in this decade, because there's a lot of speculation that it might happen and this coming generation will be the last. But I really hope that doesn't happen. Other than that, I hope Game Freak gets their shit together and actually makes, a good fucking Pokemon game again. And I hope that we get a 4th Marathon game. Because fuck it. That's why.
Nothing else from the Discord server as of right now. Let's see here. So, Leonardo Juan wants to know, do you think the reason why manga is more successful than American comics is because it doesn't shove politics down your throat, or is it something more? Well, it's definitely part of it. But again, I think it's a focus on quality. Manga, they're trying to tell the best story that they can tell. And that's the focus instead of politics. So the answer is definitely yes, but I think that there's an asterisk on top of it.
Yeah. Keep in mind too that if it's not popular with people, the titles will die out much quicker than they will over here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Marvel will keep a series going for as long as possible. Unstoppable Wasp being a good example of that, despite it having low sales. They kept it going way past its expiration date.
America Chavez. Oh God!
Well, let's not talk about America Chavez. My girlfriend brought home a book about women in Marvel, and America Chavez was featured very prominently on the cover. And I'm like, send this fucking book back. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Ugh. No.
Let's see here.
If you want a good Pokemon game, play Digimon. I told you I couldn't get into it. My buddy's been trying to get me to play the PS3 and PS4 Digimon games for a while, and I can't do it.
I just remember back in the day, like putting in every CD that I had to get different Digimon and the old PlayStation games. I got a Greymon from Slipknot.
That's actually really appropriate.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Anyway, Will Geary wants to know, how would we rank the Avengers movies? You can include Civil War because it was basically Avengers 2.5. So we got, I would say in order, if you're allowing us to include Civil War, it definitely goes. Ricky Joy just threw in $3. I'll get to that in a second. I would say it goes. Infinity War is number one. Like there's nothing comes close.
No
to
question.
It.
No
Civil
question.
War right beneath it. Then let's see here. Oh God. Trying to think after that.
Trying to figure out if Endgame or the first one.
I would say I would have to say Endgame, and then I actually put the first two on equal ground with one another.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the first one, they both suffer in the same ways from Whedon speak. The difference is that like, the first Avengers film has a novelty aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go back and I watch it and I compare it to the second one, I don't really think that one's any better than the other. So that's my thing.
Yeah, I think the first is better than Age of Ultron, just because Ultron felt really, really underdeveloped as a villain.
Yep. Real quick, Loki, we got 2 donations in there. Ricky Joy threw in $3. Said if Vegeta arrived in Marvel, would he befriend Namor, Magneto, or anyone else? Oh, he is Namor. Vegeta is Space Namor. They would either get along great or they'd kill each other.
Namor, no. Namor, yes.
Yeah. Then Serena donated $5. Says she wants me to read BB Free issue 2 with enthusiasm and professionalism.
He can promise only one of those, I assure you.
I don't think I can promise either of those, but I'll give it a shot. Keep going real quick, because you didn't give your list.
Oh, it's basically the same as yours, except Avengers 1 goes before Age of Ultron.
There you go. All right, we got more from the Discord server. Waistcoat says, I heard Disney changed the Star Wars timeline from BBY ABY to a timeline around The Force Awakens BSI ASI before after Star Killer incident. Thoughts on how this might affect Star Wars going forward?
It's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly.
It's stupid. Don't do that shit unless you are going past Rise of Skywalker at this point.
Yeah.
Don't centralize it around that shit. Battle of Yavin is the easiest fucking thing to remember.
Yeah. Chaos Sonic wants to know, when do you think this BS idea that everything in entertainment is political will die off? Especially, I hate it. Well, just keep giving them the finger. Just keep giving them the finger and they'll probably give up. But they're going to keep pushing it. They're going to keep pushing it for a while. You know.
I don't think it's going to die out. It's been around. This whole, what you consume is inherently political has been like part of Marxist thought for over a century. I don't think it's going to die out. I think it's only going to get worse.
Karl Marx sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
All right. What else we got?
Kuba's Revenge Home asked, are we headed into Clown Decade? And if so, will you sing Send in the Clowns? Ask us in 2029.
Yeah, pretty much. When we're on the over 1,000 episodes of Micah and The Hatman, feel free to ask me.
Oh, God.
If you had to pick a girlfriend, which woman would you pick? The TILF or the... What the hell is a TILF?
I hope the T doesn't stand for transgender.
Yeah, then I'd be very worried.
Oh, no. Teacher? Is it? Is it teacher?
Is it teacher?
If it's teacher, do librarians count?
No, but
God damn it!
Librarian's a whole different.
Oh God, I hope it's not trap. I hope it's not trap.
Sexy teacher. Okay. God,
Hold on. Wait a minute now. Do they not overlap in some cases?
No, hot librarian's completely different.
No, I mean teachers and MILFs. Do they not overlap?
Well, you don't have to be a mother to be a teacher.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a mother to be a MILF either.
Well, yes, you do. It's in the name.
Not really.
Yes. What do you think MILF stands for?
I know that, but I'm saying the label is often applied to women before they hit cougar status.
Even so, that doesn't make any sense. So we're using the actual definition of words.
I'm going teachers on this one because fuck it, that's why.
Well, my thing is, I've already had sex with a mother, so I'm literally a motherfucker. So
well, there you go. Okay.
So I'm actually going to say teacher because that's the one I didn't bag in my dating life.
Hatman has thought about it.
And I'm dead serious too. I have banged a mother, but I have never I dated a teacher, but we never had sex. So yeah.
I don't know if I want to tell all of my stories.
Well, you give more fucks than I do. So
did you fucking trap? I don't think either of us has or will, for that matter.
Yeah, if there's some dangly bits between the legs, it ain't happening.
Yeah, but to say I'm not into the fucking crying game. Okay, no.
Nope. The instant that I see that there's twig and berries below the waist, get out.
Oh shit. Okay. Hatman is too innocent and pure for this world. You think that. Continue thinking that. Maybe one day I will tell all of my horror stories.
Well, one of your exes let a certain she actually, I remember on a stream, let slip whether or not you go below the waist.
No. That if you're thinking of the dragon dildo story, that was
what I
kept was somebody else.
What I kept making fun of you for. What you won't eat.
Oh, yes, that. Well, yeah, you blame another ex for kind of ruining that one with STDs and shit.
Yeah.
So, oops.
Yeah, you have good reason.
Conveniently the same ex that caused psychological damage to me. Anyway, this is supposed to be a lighthearted stream. God damn it! All right, let's get back into it then. Tyler Jorgensen asked.
I'm just tickled by the fact that people want to know the sexual history of a 34-year-old balding fat guy.
Everyone's asking about the dragon dildo. Okay.
So Hatman has an ex that fucked a dude in the ass with the dragon dildo. Now let's get back to the questions. So
specifically a werewolf dragon dildo and made him beg for the knot.
Yeah.
Yes, we told this story before. It was funny.
Yeah.
And next stretch goal Hatman stories. Oh God.
Excuse me.
Anyway, Tyler Jorgensen asked, most overused horror movie. Tropics? You mean tropes?
The Virgin Survives is the one I hate the most.
The black guy dies first.
Yeah, that one's stupid too. That would be my number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Though one movie,
you guys have seen some shit.
Can I say something real quick about horror movies, especially the last decade?
Go for it, yeah. While the chat freaks out.
One that is surprisingly good and is a deconstruction that I really like is The Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yes, I do love that movie.
Cabin in the Woods is a good movie.
I do love that movie.
What stream is it? It's old Hatman channel stuff. So link to his channel in the description. It's from back during the Gamergate days.
It's a very old. I think we told this story for the first time in like 2014 or 2015.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
It was the very, very first time.
It was before this show even existed.
She told the story. Yeah, the very first time she told the story was on a stream with Mercedes Carrera, and even she was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I remember that.
So, yeah.
Shenanigans says, "Have we played Fire Emblem Three Houses? Got it recently. Really great."
I hadn't played it.
No, I have not played it either.
But hadn't. Want to, but
good to see Shenanigans here, though. Let's get to see her enough.
Yes.
Leonardo Juan wants to know: do you think shonen animes like Naruto, DBZ, My Hero Academia, etc., could be inspirations for young boys who need examples and heroes? Certainly not Naruto.
No, not Naruto. We don't.
And kind of not DBZ unless you want your children to be bad parents.
Or to scream all of the time.
Gojira asks, do you defend Tom King's decision to have 10-year-old Bruce Wayne attempt suicide after his parents' death? No. I stopped reading Tom King's Batman and was rather vocal about it. Around the time of... it was after the Mr. Freeze arc, after Batman number 50. because I felt like it wasn't quite hitting its stride at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that's happened after that, I wasn't a fan of. Why do people think I'm this big like defender of Tom King? I like some of his stuff, but I don't like all of it.
Yeah, we've talked about Tom King's Batman run like up to Batman 50, and we said we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I think that whole, Batman 50 is actually a great issue thing might have solidified a Tom King defender status.
Yeah, it's like, no. Like, I have not defended all of his stuff. I still will defend Batman 50. I think it's very good storytelling. When you
I will do that too.
When you give it a chance. But the problem is that his execution afterwards has just not been there. It really hasn't been. Because I knew they were going to get back together. Like, come on, guys, this is comic books. Nobody ever dies, and, nobody ever, like, stays apart from their love that long. So, anyway.
Couldn't think of a better way to word it. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you know the answer now, so.
Yeah, so now you've got the specifics. So, let's go ahead and... So, we hit the goal, but I don't think we had a top donator. Yeah, we had... It's tied at $5, I think. Actually, no, technically speaking, Asami Ryuji Yamazaki donated $10 total. From what I can see here. So, Ryuji, if you're in there, please type the word "here" in the chat, because you get to pick the cringe that I have to watch before we head out.
Everybody's going to ask for the toothbrush scene. I'm sure.
Can you make a $50 or $100 stretch goal for the funder to pick a vague topic, and you and Hatman have to tell a story about it?
Oh, God.
Will Geary, is that you? Like, I don't know who Asami Ryuji Yamazaki is. Oh, I know the character from Fatal Fury, but who donated that? I don't know what his username is. It's Tyler Knox. Tyler, don't listen to what everybody else is telling you. What is the cringe you want me to react to?
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, guys, if you didn't get a question...
Where's the mod? It's me. I'm your mod on duty.
Yeah, so for those of you who did not get a question answered during the course of the podcast, please go ahead and put your question in now.
Yep. Tag me. Tag the Hatman.
Yeah.
Yep. And you'll get we'll do the thing.
But Tyler Knox gets to pick the cringe.
Not here, but pick the toothbrush. Oh, God. Everyone's gonna go for it. Oh, God. It really is a cringy scene, though. Like, not gonna lie, that is top tier cringe.
But yeah, I'll tell you what. If you guys get the donation up to $50 total, we'll tell you our most embarrassing sexual story.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
It can be anime cringe or whatever. Like, everybody loves anime cringe, so that would be my recommendation.
Yep. My sandwich has 2 wrappers on it for some reason. Okay. But yeah, tag me with overflow questions. So do that. I will collect them.
Hank Hill says, I don't think anything can top last week. So what was last week?
Was that the one with the dude whose clothes exploded off of him?
Yes.
Oh no, it was R9K in a nutshell too.
Yeah. That was very confusing. I was like, what the fuck?
All right, I'm collecting entertainment questions now. Remember, it's going to be an overflood too, you guys. So
yeah, Virgin Spirit Bomb. Yeah, that was a weird.
Oh yes, the Virgin Spirit.
It's a very
that
weird thing, just in general.
That was funny. Yeah, R9K in a nutshell, Virgin Spirit. Oh, that was great. Look up Vine non-binary cringe. Oh God. Is this going to be like Z Zombie or some bullshit? If y'all want a whole movie of cringe, look up Z Zombie. Holy shit.
All right. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
So, let's see. I see a Vine transgender fluid cringe compilation. Number 6. Oh God, there's multiples of them? Trans memes for my trans folks V1. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we have toothbrush next week? Oh, God, I don't know. Toothbrush, you donate. If we get up to $50, we'll do toothbrush too.
Yeah, I'll throw that in there. If you guys get it to $50 before we figure out what this thing is, then I'll do whatever this toothbrush thing is.
Just look at one. Okay, so let's pick. Apparently, the number 1 in this series is not here, so we'll just, I guess, start at number 2. Vine transgender fluid cringe compilation.
We're just doing like one of them, but give it to me.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the first one in this series is not there, so
that's fine.
I guess I got the
like I'm going to be particular about it. Come on.
All right, I'll send you a link to it.
All right.
Oh God. Please don't make me throw up my fucking sandwich.
This is 6 minutes long. Why is this 6 minutes long?
I don't know, but we're paid for this. You're paid for this at least. I just follow.
The fact that there's a playlist of this is mortifying.
The fact that there's a playlist and it's got like 13 fucking entries on it is mortifying.
All right, we'll go. I'm gonna go till I tap out, basically, because.
Okay.
Jiminy Christmas.
All right. Tell me when to start.
Well, let me get it set up. Okay. Hitting the play button in 5, 4, 3, 2, blarg.
My daddy put me on out. I got pretty hungry, so I started to pout. He asked if I was down for something yummy. I asked what, and he said he'd give me his gummies. Yeah. I drink them, slap them, I swallow them all. It makes daddy happy, so it's my only goal.
Stop turning around! You have to suffer with me!
Nope. I'm looking for the alcohol.
Daddy's princess, but I'm also a whore. He makes me feel squishy. He makes me feel good. He makes me feel everything a little should. What?
No, you said okay. You are not going to tell me to wait. If I want to interrupt you fucking talking, I will interrupt you talking. Point blank fucking period. Okay. You don't fucking cut me off.
Only Haley, I swear.
I don't care if it was a certain type of way. Bitch, you want me. She my pussy, not yours. Okay? Okay. Like I said, take your ass outside and before the fucking situation gets worse. Just go. I'm not trying to ruin your day and your birthday, but just go.
Okay, that's why your girlfriend's trying to kiss girls at Asbury. Okay?
Bitch, we ain't talking about this. Walk away. Ugly bitch. Take the tiara off. Take the fucking tiara off.
Chelsea, sit the fuck.
I'm not. Okay, walk away. Thank you.
I want to live in a world where my children grow up without just assuming that they are straight. I want to live in a world where we are taught the differences between our gender identities, our gender expression, and our biological sex. I want to live in a world where Disney movies have homosexual, interracial, 3 or more person relationships, and any relationship in between. I want to live in a world where the first thing you say to a person when you meet them is, "Hello, my name is Lauren. My pronouns are her and she. What are yours?" I want to live in a world where anyone can...
Fucking dank gummies, I need them right now.
Now officially on tea.
Me!
I'm so happy. Oh my.
I need tea because when I'm not passing, guys think friendliness means I'm attracted to them.
I hope you mean sweet tea.
Yeah, I am. So do you want to become a woman? That part, a college classmate asked me this recently.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I am a girl. Fuck you.
I'm fucking gay.
Mom, I'm gay. What? Me too, Mom. Is there no one in this house who likes girls? I do.
Oh, that bloke's wearing fucking makeup. Nah, shit, cunt. You're on Oxford Street. Go and eat a bag of dicks.
Anyone who's gender fluid with long hair, or even bob cuts like mine, beanies are your best friend, if you're going for guy looks.
So, like, since you're trans now, do you have a penis? Yes, I just grew one overnight.
Are you a boy or a girl?
Suck a dick!
Don't you diss Professor Oak like that, you fucker.
You're a girl because you have a vagina. What makes you say I have a vagina? Who knows? Maybe I have a dick. Maybe not. My gender is valid. Unlike your opinion.
Lily, you seem pretty sad lately. What's wrong?
Dysphoria.
Oh, yo, your cleavage is showing. You should cover that. Just kidding. I'm a lesbian and I'm into that. Can I have your number, please?
There are only 2 genders in this world.
Well, you know, I'm not at all trans, but my cousin is, so I feel that everything I say is just 100% correct and not at all problematic.
To every homophobe out there, it's
So let's pause this for a second.
People need to realize.
I want to just say that I don't believe God makes mistakes, except for teenagers. Teenagers are stupid. And should be locked in rooms and beat on with sticks until they get the fucking right ideas.
Every day we stray further from God's light.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Realize that Planned Parenthood isn't just for abortions. It also helps trans people like me.
Someone just asked if I'm gay. How dare you? I am not gay. I am very fucking gay.
What gender are you? What are you, basic?
Hi, Ben and Taylor. My name's Max. I use the pronoun he and him.
Fucking tranny. Oh, look, what do you got in your pants? What you got in your pants? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull up my fucking 12-inch dick and I'm gonna slap you in the face with it.
Hair dye is not a gender.
Not trying to be special, not trying to get anyone's attention. I'm gender fluid. It's a thing. Shut the fuck up and leave me alone.
Isn't.
This is your daily reminder to tell you that I am a boy.
No, you're not.
And I look handsome as fuck doing it.
Are you a boy or a girl? I am the embodiment of sin.
Look at me. What do you see? Probably some girl who looks like Samus from Inside Out, but I'm actually a transgender boy. Sup?
Are you a boy or a girl?
No.
Yeah, but like, what's in your pants?
Determination.
So what does agender mean? It means I don't conform to gender normatives. So you identify as a rock?
Just an FYI, my voice, my body, and my clothes do not define my gender. Please stop purposely.
No, your genetics do. Now shut the fuck up.
The slightest bit of makeup. Oh my god, do you want to be a girl?
Alright, I'm done.
So
I can't anymore. I cannot. What the fuck is going on? Really? I like... You know what?
Coming out on Vine as Trent. You know what? Nope, I'm tapping out too. Fuck that shit. Nope. Vine is dead, so we cannot declare exterminatus on Vine. So thank God for that. Thank God that someone else did the work there for us. However, it's the last show of the year. I think we would be remiss if we did not declare an exterminatus.
I got nothing to declare it on, though. I don't have it in me.
I do. I will take the initiative and declare exterminatus on teenagers who think they are authorities on gender and who also believe that hair dye is a gender.
That is oddly specific. Can we fill a planet with those people? I don't think we can.
You know what? Who cares? This is what they've earned. Oh, yes, we can put transgenders in there, too. Jesus Christ.
So Riley Dennis.
Yeah. That sort of shit.
How about this? How about we just declare exterminatus on people who think that normalizing a mental illness is a good idea? Yeah. That's what we're doing.
Let's go one further. Who think that it should not be a mental illness?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
We have arrived, and it is now that we fulfill our charge. In fealty to the Lord our God, and by the grace of his throne, I declare exterminatus upon whatever scumbag we're declaring exterminatus on today. I hereby sign the death warrant of an entire wherever, and consign 1,000,000 souls, maybe, to oblivion. May imperial justice account in all balance. The Emperor protects. Deus vos, Deus vos, Deus vos, Deus vos, Deus vos.
Man. At least, if nothing else, we didn't have to watch Cats.
You know, that's something.
Yes.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go watch some Strong Bad emails to get the taste of that bullshit out of my mouth.
That's a good idea. Check the email. Check the email. Check the email. Dear Strongbad, what's 7FP? Anyway. Hey now.
The quadratic formula explode?
I see a strong button there, but it's being eaten by some Linux.
I love that one.
My mouth was a broken jetpack.
Oh yes.
All right.
And before someone pays you to watch Cats.
Yes,
nope, I think we would probably reject that donation.
Now, my name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and this is my final sign-off for the year.
Yes. We'll see you guys next time. Deus Vol.
Deus Vol.